Yo, what is up YouTube? Killicam, and I was scrolling through my feed today and I noticed I haven't had a Jelly Bean video, aka the Kawasaki Vulcan 650S. I haven't had a video on this bike in so long, so I had to dust it off. I called my dad, made sure it was okay. This is my dad's bike, for those of you that didn't know. I love this thing, very lightweight and enjoyable. So I called him up, asked him if I could use it. He said no problem. So about to go hit my favorite stretch of road closest to my house, the Killicam Speedway, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's see what you got, Jelly. Nice fresh paved road. Oh, this road is beautiful. If this is the first time you've ever seen one of my videos, I'm not just a speed demon daredevil on a 650cc. I just really like hitting these back roads and trying to find whatever twisties I have around here. I know some of you guys are on spring break right now. Just remember, be somewhat safe. Don't get in too much trouble. I know I've had my fair share of quality spring break stories, but I'm getting kind of old now, 22. I can't be out there sending it like I used to. This is my spring break, a day off of work, beautiful weather, probably the last cold front we're gonna have for a while, it being Florida and everything. So you see me wearing a jacket, that's how you know it's slightly nippy. For those of you that have been following me for a minute, you know I can go all day without wearing one of these things. It doesn't even feel like 90 on this thing. Just be safe out there and just make sure you take an Uber, Lyft, or taxi, whatever you need to. But go enjoy your spring break. A nice little quality straightaway. Let's hit a daily 100. Come on, Jelly, get big. There we go. A classic daily 100 for the OGs. Every video, I promise. I was talking to my dad the other day, seeing if he was interested in looking for any other parts or whatever, and while I was looking for them, there's so many forums and things for this bike that I had no clue about, to be honest. This isn't my bike, so I don't generally look it up all the time. But the fan base, the following that this bike has, not just in America, especially overseas, is massive. And I know they come restricted over there, and then you have to unrestrict them or de-restrict them to fully enjoy them. This bike's unrestricted for those of you watching overseas. I've already double checked, because if this thing was restricted and it ran like this, I was trying to get more power for sure. That thing would be awesome. Someone commented the other day, if this thing had 1000cc, he would get one. I was like, 1000cc on Jelly Bean would be nuts. A Kawasaki Vulcan 1000, if it was somewhat still lightweight, that thing would rip. I would be trying to talk my dad into that one instantly, just so I could ride it and have it in the garage. After seeing how big the following is for this bike and the fan base that it has, I can't really be too surprised. You have to think, a cheaper bike, a starter bike, a reliable bike, and an enjoyable bike, and that's all you really need. And you can still modify it. I was just sitting here thinking for my dad, different bars on this would be nice. I was just sitting on it. I guess I haven't been on this bike in a minute, so I think straight bars, if you made it a little cafe style, changed the headlight a little bit, got rid of those blinkers. I know my dad doesn't want to do all that, but I'm just trying to think, for those of you guys that want this to be your first bike and you want to make it look cooler, the mirrors would go if it was mine. The mirrors would be gone. The turn signals would get changed. I would probably get a straighter handlebar, so it's a more aggressive seating position. And then you add a full exhaust system, and you're chilling with this bike, man. I still don't know what my dad's gonna do with this bike. But if he ever gets another one, and this one's just showing in the garage, this would be a fun little project bike. Just to have a little bike like this, I have so many friends that want to learn how to ride, and if this bike was just sitting in the garage and I could add parts to it, the parts that I would want to put on it, I would for sure have this as like a loaner bike and just be riding with the boys, getting that third angle, using my boys. They could use my bike, I use them for a different angle. I think that would be awesome. What type of friend does that? Yo, here's my Kawasaki Vulcan 650. Yeah, you can ride it, man, no problem. You drop it, it's yours though. I'm gonna give them a little room so I can enjoy it without actually passing them and probably making them mad or whatever. But I've had that idea for a while now, just having a throwaway, I don't want to call it a throwaway bike, but a bike that you wouldn't mind if it hit the pavement. Like, you wouldn't be too butthurt. Of course you would be sad, but you wouldn't be absolutely frustrated that that bike hit the ground because your buddy was trying to learn. Having a bike like that in the garage would be so sweet. After thinking about it, I was thinking probably like a smaller supermoto or dual sport, like a 250cc. That would probably be one of the better starter bikes or throwaway bike to have in the garage for your buddies. But this thing has a better seating position than that dual sport would, and it's not as high up off the ground, so I think this probably would be the best starter bike or just hand it to your friends so they can learn how to ride and go riding with you. But a dual sport, if I had a dual sport and had a 250 just sitting there, that would be awesome as well. I know some people's garages are insane, like absolutely insane. Probably you would never dream of having as much stuff as they do. But I just want the basics, man. I always think about my dream garage. It's always in the back of my head. And having a loaner bike is definitely in the plan eventually. And I would have no problem with that. Leave it down in the comments what changes you would do to the stock Kawasaki Vulcan 650 platform, or just the Vulcans in general. What would you change off bat? I know the majority of you are gonna say these mirrors, even though I have pollen all over them. And someone's also mentioned you can take the black part off of them to make them look smaller, but this thing's so massive. It's funny coming from my R6, which no longer has mirrors, which is bad, to putting small bar ends on it, to these things, where it's like looking into a bathroom mirror, adjusting my visor. I see some of these cafe style builds online and I just fall in love with them. I can't wait to one day try to make a bike like that, or just customize a bike that looks like that, like the old school, absolute old school racers, cafe racers. Those will always have a place in my heart, and if I can make this thing somewhat resemble that at all, that would be so sick. I think I'm gonna pull over to the side of the road, do a quick little walk around. For those of you that haven't seen this bike and you might be slightly interested in it, Kawasaki, you're welcome. But this thing, you could modify this thing. I think this thing has a very good potential to be a cool little custom bike. But just wanted to give you a little walk around of this bike. It's basically bone stock, besides these little levers I bought for my dad. And we did a little muffler mod where we drilled a couple holes in the muffler to give it a little bit more sound. So nothing too ridiculous. I know there's a full system out there, which would be the better option, but my dad didn't want to spend the money. This is his first beginner bike, his starter bike, and we knew it was going to go down. My dad took a little spill, had a truck riding right behind him, and he hit some gravel, slid out. And the only thing that happened to the bike when that happened is this little scratch right here, which is nothing too bad. You already need to know your first bike's gonna get some scratches, gonna get some bruises. That's how you learn. This is just my opinion. This doesn't mean anything. So if you change the headlight, in my opinion, and you took off these and changed the bars and got rid of the mirrors, I think the front would be done. Now you move to the rear, I would completely change this thing right here. This thing's completely massive. I would get rid of that and probably just tuck the tag here and get an LED strip for the blinkers. I think that alone would completely change the look of this bike. And this bike's cheap enough so that you can actually modify it and you wouldn't be breaking the bank too bad. So maybe one day when my dad gets another one and this one's in the garage, I can try to make that happen. But for now, it's his bike, and I'm gonna let him do whatever he wants to it. If he wants it stock, let it be. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy. I'm Killer Cam. I ride a Yamaha R6 and a Victory Gunner. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys go enjoy the rest of your day. Kill Cam out.